Hey everyone. Oh my gosh. How are you? Last week was massive. I learned and grew and hurt and integrated so much. And then on Friday, I was like super excited in like my new energy. And then another like old limiting belief pattern popped up. And I did a thing that I probably shouldn't have done. And then I felt really bad about it. But then on Saturday, I still celebrated the growth that I had all week leading up to Friday morning. And then Sunday, I really started to shift. Hey, Sonia. So growth is amazing because every time we grow and we reach a high, we can be met with an equal and opposite low. But that's how we get higher awareness and deepening wisdom, which is what makes all the changes when we're going through self-mastery. And so I wanted to jump on and share with you some things that you can take away right now to redefine your diet. And Sonia, I'm excited. Will you be there live? Did you see the call times if you can make it live? So Sonia is going to Redefining Diet Masterclass. Okay, so I want to share with you where I have been so that you really understand the context of what I'm going to share with you, why it works, and to inspire you that the same is possible for you. So, first of all, I was no longer able to binge 12 years ago. I was really upset. I was on the phone with my dad in my mom's house, feeling like a little child that didn't belong anywhere. And I grew up in a divorced home. And I was crying, and I said to my dad, I don't want to come over. He was inviting me over to his house to hang out. I said, I don't want to come over. I don't belong over there. And then I looked around and I was like, I don't belong here. At the time, I was living with my step-grandma. And then it like hit me like a ton of bricks. I'm successful. I had an international textile business with factories operating in Los Angeles, Jakarta, Egypt, China. I was a teacher trainer for an international Pilates company. I had my own clientele. And I had already made a clothing line. And so when I heard myself say that to my dad, I can't go over there because I don't belong with you. I can't go stay here because I don't belong here. I was like, something is very wrong. That I could be doing all of these things in real life, but still feel like a child. And so binging didn't work. I tried to eat my peanut butter and jelly sandwich and I was crying so badly that I couldn't swallow it and I had to spit it out. So I went to therapy. I went on antidepressants because my physical symptoms were so overwhelming all the time. Like if somebody looked at me the wrong way, I would freak out and have an adrenaline dump and get an upset stomach and break out in sweats. And when I went to therapy, the woman said, you have PTSD. Because I shared with her some things that happened when I was a kid. And her suggestion was I go on antidepressants so I could talk about my feelings without being overrun by my body. And she suggested I go to talk therapy. I say, okay. So I go to a couple therapists. And two of them really stood out to me. One of them said, you have all the answers within. And I was furious. And I said to him, if I had all the answers, I wouldn't be here. I bought a cognitive behavioral therapy book. And I was still feeling like crap. So I go to group therapy after I had seen a couple other therapists. And therapist leans up against the desk in the front of the room, crosses his arms, and says, I'm going to tell you something that Kaiser doesn't want you to know. If you don't change your thoughts, you will always need a stronger prescription or a cocktail of prescriptions. You have to change your thoughts. So I left that therapy session and I was like, okay, I have my cognitive behavioral therapy book. I'm changing my thoughts. And I had planned to be on antidepressants for 6 months so that I could give my body a break. And the first time that I weaned myself off, I couldn't do it. It was just too much. So I took another 3 months, and after 9 months of using antidepressants, I was able to get off of them. But that was 12 years ago. And in that time, I've learned a whole lot more because I haven't felt good until recently. And I started feeling good recently. And every time I feel bad and I don't use food for a quick chemical fix or a quick sensation of fulfillment, and I don't overrun my body with exercise to ignore the feelings, to suppress them, I grow even more and I feel even better. So I'm coming to you in a new vibrational state because last week was massive, Friday was massive, Saturday I spent all day retraining my brain as I was prepping my food, and then Sunday, just like everything expanded. So in the time that I have been learning about these tools within, I have worked through no longer binging, releasing the meaning that I gave myself when I ate off of the good list or the bad list, and we all know what I'm talking about. I have healed 2 cervical disc herniations, gotten out of the chronic pain and migraines that even sitting on the couch, like it was so sad. Like I would want to relax and I'd want to watch a couple movies on the couch, just Netflix and chill. And then it would put me in a flare. And it would be so depressing because it was like, I need to rest, but I can't rest. I can't get my neck in a good position to where it doesn't bother me. What else? My digestive issues. I spent so much time using laxatives in my 20s, and however my chemistry is, I have to eat certain foods to not get inflammation in my intestines so that I don't get hemorrhoids. And then also, after I learned that, how to know what's good for my body, then to actually master the macros so that I could get a 6-pack. And one of the things that really landed for me last week was it's really okay for me to say, I'm really happy, I'm really happy, I'm really happy, I'm really healthy, and I'm really hot. Like, my aesthetic is like slamming. Like, my glutes are coming in different ways that I never thought possible. And the thing about how cool my aesthetic is right now is I only work out 3 days a week. I walk a couple days a week. I haven't even been strict about my steps. And I have this like body that when I look on Instagram at other fitness accounts, they are working so hard to achieve it. And I'm kind of just riding energy, achieving it. So I just wanted to claim that and really own how far I've gone from all of the self-harm that I've done, the acts of self-violence that I've committed on myself because of the mental, emotional states that I learned and created when I was little, the meanings that I made about myself when I had sensations in my body. Because that's the human conditioning of the body in the 3D human experience. That's it. We can get really dramatic, and I'm really good at being dramatic, about wounding and our mom and our dad and our grandparents or our peers or anybody else. But if we use energy just like we use a scale or a barbell or a dumbbell, we discover that it's just learned behavior. And so what happens is when we have sensations in our body when we're little, like the ages of 0 to 7, our mind has to make sense of what those sensations mean about the environment, about what it means to be human, so belonging, and then what it means to be the self. And the information the brain has at that time is held in your natal chart, your gene keys, your human design. It's held in the genetics from the emotional chemicals that have been passed on in your lineage. And it's also held in the information of the miasma, the energetic genetics that have been passed on in your lineage. So we have all of those like templates. And then who we are, as separate even from all of that, with conscious choice, or maybe at not that time conscious choice. But however we lean in those ages of 0 to 7, the meanings that we make about those sensations, because the sensations in our body are how we figure out if it's safe to be human or not. So whatever the meanings our mind made, stay with us forever. And then when we're grown-ups, we call them limiting beliefs. Reasons why our dreams don't come true and we keep experiencing the same nightmare, the same emotional experience, but in different categories of life. And when we apply this to the context of the body, we find the relationship with the body, or we find the relationship with how we feel about the body and what the body means about our worth when we look at the self-care tools that go with the body. So it's like a romantic relationship, but like instead of dating somebody, it's the diet and it's the exercise and it's the self-care. And so what happens is we take something like a diet and we make the adherence to it mean something about our worth. That if we stick to it, we're good, and so we should get rewarded with something on the bad list. If we don't stick with it, it's bad, and so we should punish ourselves and do even more. But the diet is just the thing that's out there, exterior from our body, to mirror how we feel about ourselves and how we're treating ourselves. Because if we base our worth as good off of what we do, or who we're with, or what our career is, or what our status is, it's a false sense of fulfillment. It is a false dopamine, serotonin chemical hit. It's addiction. And then when we use anything exterior for our comparison of if we're bad, if we're making it, then we will always have something on the outside, a partner, our status, our career, our money, our self-care practices, our ability to exercise in an athletic way. They will always confirm how bad we are, because that's how energy works. Energy is across all dimensions. The third dimension, where our physical body is the reflection of it. So however we're feeling mentally and emotionally on the inside is what shows up on the outside. And the thing that we've forgotten about this is that is the whole point. That is the fun of it. Because energy is positive and negative, and we are the neutral. We are the one who decides where to go. And on the extremes, positive energy is toxic patriarchy, discipline, shame, guilting, control, conquering. Have you applied any of those energies to your self-care? And then the extreme of the negative is sad, disappointment, unworthiness, emptiness, abandonment. How many times have you felt that way about yourself when you couldn't stick with something? And then how many times have you abandoned yourself? So it's all balance. And when we use dieting to redefine the relationship that we have with ourselves, the dieting process becomes the exciting mirror of noticing, how am I feeling about myself? What did I just get triggered? What do I want to do with food right now because of this trigger? Why is my wanting me to do that? What's my pattern? Oh, it's such and such emotion. It's this emotion that's making me do this. And so you get to use your adherence or your rebellion of your diet to find out more about the inner relationship between you and you. So, for today, what I would love you to do, and you can comment back on this live, or send me a message, or comment on one of my posts, is take a look at what you're eating today. Make note if you decided, since it's Monday in most parts of the world, if you decided to diet today. And if you decided to diet today, ask yourself why. Is it because, hey Brooke, is it because you're in over positive energy of shame, discipline, guilt, conquering? Or did you decide today because you feel sad and disappointed? So find out why you decided to diet today, if you are. And, or either one, so you can do as many of these awareness prompts as you want. Be aware when you're eating today. What you're thinking, what you're feeling, what you're doing, and where you are when you're eating. And just observe. Just notice what's happening. If you're thinking about your crave food, or you're thinking about what you should be eating, if you're thinking about your good list, if you're thinking about your bad list, what are the feelings behind those thoughts? Are you feeling sad and like disappointed in yourself, so therefore you're thinking about the good list and all the things that you should be doing? Are you feeling like so in your power and so excited that you're like killing it, that you're like, ooh, what am I going to reward myself with a treat? Feel what you're feeling while you're thinking the thoughts, because this information is going to give you so much awareness about the relationship between you, and how diet and exercise and self-care are the mirrors for where you're at right now. And where you're at right now with this is perfect. It's perfectly timed. You're not behind. There's no rush. It's perfect. And when you have that information, you can send me a DM and comment on this live and tell me what you thought, what came up, and I can give you some feedback. And if that's not enough, if you don't feel complete with this information I'm sharing with you today, I would highly suggest you join the Redefining Your Diet Masterclass. So if you feel complete, thank you so much for being here. I look forward to reading a message from you or looking at a comment from you. And if you do not feel complete, you want to take it one step further, we have a 3-day masterclass that starts on Thursday. And I'm going to take you through a deeper layer and a deeper activation of how you can start redefining this relationship with your diet. Yeah. Brooke says, empowered, and the treats I crave now are totally different. Oh, all thanks to me. Oh, thanks. Oh, I'm so glad. What changed? Like, did you go like from brownies to melons? Because like I crave melon now. I love melon and squash. Anyway, so with this 3-day masterclass, I'm going to share with you deeper everything that I shared here. You're going to have integration assignments after every single call. You have a Facebook group. You have the live stream. We have giveaways. So you have a way to deepen this understanding, deepen this awareness. Because the more you can redefine this relationship that you have with dieting, no more ice cream or pastries, but mostly fruit. Amazing. That's so cool. The more you can redefine this relationship with dieting, Nutella. Yeah, so good. Do you say Nutella or Nutella? I don't know. Okay, sorry about my dogs. The more you can redefine the relationship with yourself and how it's being mirrored to you and the choices that you're making with your diet, your exercise, and your self-care. The more you redefine that, the more you recreate yourself, and you start to live in your dream body, and you start to attract the tools, the people, the resources, the support to actually make it happen, because you're working with energy from the inside out. You're taking the intuitive prompts and you're following the path. You're following the how as it shows up. So you can register at laurensarcione.com/redefining diet. The link is in my bio. I'm so excited about it. So excited about it. And I think that's it. Yeah, so class is Thursday, Friday, Saturday. There are replays available, so don't feel pressured to be there live. I'm in Los Angeles, so we've got Pacific US time over here. Thursday, I don't know what the date is, but Thursday is 9 a.m. Pacific time. Friday is 6 p.m. Pacific time. And then Saturday is 10 or 11 a.m. Pacific time. Oh, so I wanted to say this. So Brooke says that she's not craving ice cream or pastries, but fruit. And so what happens when we don't have cravings, what's happening physiologically is that the mental emotional state has shifted. And so what Brooke is experiencing on a chemical level is that she's done so much inner work that her unconscious thoughts, like literally thoughts that we don't even hear ourselves think, but they have a chemical component to them, because that's how the body works. It's neurobiology. It's firings and it's chemical. Conscious that you're aware of, unconscious that you're not aware of. So she has done so much mental emotional work, which is inner work, which is her doing the work. I've guided, provided tools, resources, shared with her my experience, how I figured this shit out for myself, but she's done the work. She's self-led. So she's done inner work to change the automatic thought chemical secretion. Hey, Kirsten. And so she is no longer needing a quick chemical fix on the outside to change her chemical component on the inside. What that has allowed her to do is be aware in real time, outside of her inner work and her meditations, to be aware of the feeling sensations in her body, of the chemical / hunger / craving cues, to make a decision of what it is she's actually in need of. Because there are physiological needs and there are emotional needs. So she has been able to manage that in real time. Kirsten, I would so love if you watched this, like the whole thing. I would so love your opinion on this. I'll see you later at noon. So Brooke has been able, she's basically made her dream body vacation vibes internally, the chemical cocktail. And so what that is allowed to do is that when she approaches something in the environment, a trigger from a person, a place, a thing, when her body has sensed something that maybe is an emotional vibration that doesn't feel too hot, because she's done so much inner work to change her automatic thoughts, her mental reactions to that feeling in the sensing body, she's already self-fulfilled. She's already chemically balanced internally. Because when we go for the cravings, it's because we're looking for the quick chemical dump and we're looking for a feeling of fullness in the physical body that makes us have a false sense of self-fulfillment. So that's what the inner work does for you in real time. Because it's not about, can you withstand giving up sugar? It's about, can I have a chemical cocktail within my body of my vacation vibes, right? Because we're like, no stress on vacation, so that I can be aware when the dream body resources come into my experience, I can keep going. I can keep creating that dream body and become it more and more. So congratulations, Brooke. Thank you for sharing. I will see you all later. Hopefully I will see you on the masterclass Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Bye.